Hey everyone, Road Breach here, and today we're responding to GKOOPZ. This guy made a video on Brother Nier 2.0, responding to some really old videos on his channel, and making some really shitty arguments in the process. But before we get into the video, I do want to give some context. Brother Nier 2.0 made a stream going over the YouTuber Tipster defending an e-girl liking some Shotokan artwork on Twitter, to which Tipster defended said action. He later got into an argument with Mitsune Nika on Twitter, which is an alt account for Sean the Legend, which he discussed on stream. Barakanta also made a video on the situation, as did I. Brother Nier later made a video about how Sean was slandering him on Twitter over an obvious joke that Nier made on Discord to a YouTuber named Kim Josh Un. The reason why people are up in arms about this is because Nier is 21 and Josh is 17, and people misconstrued the joke as Nier wanting to fuck him. A testimony from Josh himself in the video even said that it didn't bother him.
I don't know why the fuck I got brought into this situation. I genuinely don't know. So it started with Vincent Martin, right? And then fucking he pinged the one pedophile, right? Yeah, but the pedophile took this fucking screenshot of like Nier making a joke, which like it's a fucking joke. I don't know how else you can take that. But, like, there's a difference between fucking joking about wanting to fuck kids and shit like that. Because people make jokes like that all the time. They're edgy, and, like, maybe you don't think they're right. But, like, they don't hurt anybody. And I don't know why the fuck this person is, like, trying to compare that shit to jerking off to, like, drawings of kids. Like, how that shit is comparable, I have no clue. But whatever.
Much like what happened in my ex-Lucas rant, this is a case of a joke being taken out of proportion. A YouTuber named GKOOPZ later commented on his video, and Nier made a community post about the stupid shit he said. I also don't know where to fit this in, but GKOOPZ also tried to get onto Psychonautic Therapy's Discord server with an unverified account when he already had a verified account. He also told someone to raid Nier's stream, which is against terms of service by the way, and Nier was sent screenshots of GKOOPZ telling people to raid his stream, which he showed on said stream. So I figured it would be fun to respond to this abortion of a video. So without further ado, let's do this.
How's it going, guys? Sorry about the late video post. I was planning to upload a video on Friday this week, but due to how busy I've been with my job as of lately, I haven't had enough time to finish it until now. On Friday in the upcoming week, I'm gonna stream, so look forward to that. Let's talk about a PNG tuber. Specifically about a fanboy PNG tuber, one who has questionable history of flirting with a minor on his Discord server. Take a seat.
Primus, give me strength. This bullshit again? This is Josh asking for a role in Psycho's Discord server, and all Nier said was, come to my house and we can debate on it. You have to be using extreme amounts of mental gymnastics in order to come to the point that Nier wants to fuck him. I guess we'll just ignore the fact that Nier is actually dating someone older than him. By the way, I'm just gonna skip this next part because it's an unfunny Chris Hansen skit.
This video is not going to cover his Discord degeneracy, however. That's for a video in the future, potentially.
Do it. No ass, no balls. No ass, no balls. I can't wait for more of your mental gymnastics.
More specifically, this video is going to be more about his dogshit arguments of him shilling for a AAA company/companies monetization methods.
Well, that's a bold claim to make, considering he's made videos on console fanboys once upon a time. If he made videos on console fanboys, what makes you think he's going to shill for scummy monetized content?
This isn't the first topic that he has spread misinformation like it's the fucking COVID virus.
I went out with no mask for a while and got nothing. Explain that. Also another bold claim to make. I'd love to see your source on how Nier spreads misinformation.
This is just one of the many topics he gets wrong, but for the sake of keeping this video short enough so it doesn't become too long, I will be focusing on this topic exclusively. Let's take a look at this first argument, shall we?
With cosmetic options. Like, holy shit, man. Is it really this hard to just play a fucking game rather than nitpick whatever bonus content is put into it, all because you don't like looking at it?
The concept of cosmetics of itself is fine, as long as it's not behind a paywall or bloats up the game.
I also think that cosmetics in a paid game shouldn't cost money. If the developer makes a game that you need to pay for in order to play it, then that's how they should make their money. But if the game is free and you can pay for cosmetics, then that's fine with me. Developers need to get paid somehow, so as long as what you pay for doesn't give you the edge over other people, then microtransactions are not a problem unless you don't have disposable income. And bloating the game, we'll save that one for later.
There are many other reasons for why purchasable cosmetics is bad and disliked, aside from how it looks. This practice is called microtransactions. Also, cosmetics in games often ends up increasing the game's size dramatically, so that if you were to install it, it would take you a while to install. In some cases, a game goes from double digits in gigabytes before microtransactions is introduced, to triple digits in gigabytes after microtransactions is introduced.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
You had the time to look up the definition of a word most people in the gaming community know, but you couldn't be fucked to give an example of paid cosmetics causing software bloat. I tried looking that up myself, and I found that skins only add a couple of megabytes, which is very small. The only bloat I found when I got Modern Warfare was the pointless addition of the campaign compatibility pack, not from cosmetics.
When there are that many cosmetics that the game size gets drastically increased, it often ends up with performance issues that makes the framerate suffer greatly, most noticeably on lower spec computers.
Once again, if you can't be bothered to find me your source, then I'm not going to take your word for it. I shouldn't need to do all the work to fact check your retardation when you make claims like this.
Don't even get me started on the heavy microtransactions that include element of gambling through loot boxes and other loopholes to get around the gambling laws. So no, Brother Nier, it's not a nitpick.
Are we just going to forget about the ban on loot boxes that was caused by Battlefront 2? Besides, this was before Activision Blizzard found a way to make loot boxes fly under the law's radar with Diablo Immortal. But even then, he never advocated for loot boxes or pay-to-win microtransactions in this video, so this argument is unnecessary.
It is perplexing to me how many bugs happened after launch, like just before the holiday break, and they've persisted. I don't want to talk about that too much. I want to focus on cosmetics.
Oh, well, never mind then. So instead of talking about actual criticisms of the game, you're gonna focus on literal non-issues, like the cosmetics themselves.
Purchasable cosmetics can be an issue. Some cosmetics can make you harder to see, some can make you easier to see. It can add a subtle pay to win due to the visibility of the color it gives you. That, as well as how the game size can get gigantic when the developers milk it to no end, as well as performance issues.
He brought up skins that you can buy for CSGO in the stream, but none of the player skins in Counter-Strike make you harder to see. Plus, this article you show about Modern Warfare has to do with the updates to the actual game. The article has nothing to do with cosmetics, and everything to do with Activision doing a poor job of compressing the files. So Nier is correct when he says the cosmetics in Call of Duty Vanguard are a non-issue.
I just don't know where to begin. $30 Metroid Dread amiibo figures increase players' health and missiles.
What? What the fuck?
So going on from the other week or whenever it was, probably even a month ago now, when they announced the Zelda amiibo that allows you to fast travel for an extra $20, $25, quality of life improvement, they've done it with Metroid Dread.
Oh no, the horror! They added an option where you can get a little pick-me-up if you buy an amiibo? Whatever shall we do? This is clearly a crime against humanity, everyone. We're dealing with an Avengers level threat. But jokes aside, I'm gonna have to remind you that amiibos are entirely optional, and you do not need to purchase them if you don't want to play Metroid that way.
Ah, the classic, but it's optional argument. What's funny is that the game you're playing, called Killing Floor 2, had many people just like you who were using that same argument to attempt to justify developer greed from paid-to-win DLC weapons. Paid-to-win is not optional when you play to win. That amiibo in particular is by definition pay to win.
As a Metroid player, I can tell you that 1 extra tank and 5 more missiles is a negligible difference. Besides, pay to win is a term that exclusively refers to multiplayer games. Metroid Dread is a single player only game, so buying these amiibos is going to affect no one else but you if you decide you want them.
This time $30. Each figure increases capacity permanently and also acts as a daily top-up. What are you doing, Nintendo? I'm sorry, but this is just as bad as the XP boosters that Ubisoft do in their games, or you're getting COD or whatever, where they help you out. This is just as bad.
No, it isn't. Ubisoft and Activision's boosts give the player an advantage for an online game, while the amiibo perks are for a game that is entirely single player. To stretch that into something comparable to that of Ubisoft games or Call of Duty is very moronic to say the least.
So fucking what if it's single player? Giving an advantage for single player is just as bad as doing it in multiplayer. Single player has competition too, for example speedruns or just records in general. It's not a moronic comparison, it's only moronic to claim that it's less worse when done in single player.
It would be a problem if this game had a multiplayer mode and the effects from the amiibos worked in it, but it doesn't, so this isn't the issue that you're making it out to be. No, it's not as bad because the only one being affected is you. Much like single-player cheats, these amiibos do not make it so you have an advantage over other players. The Splatoon amiibos only give you cosmetics and nothing else. Besides, amiibos are not allowed on speedrunning websites, and even then, the speedrunning is something that's outside of the game itself. Like Nier said, this is a non-issue, so it is moronic to compare XP boosters to monetized loadouts to what amiibos do here. That's about it for his video. In conclusion, this video was full of weak arguments and lies. However, do not go out of your way to harass anyone I make videos on. You're not welcome in my garage. Thanks for watching, and gotta zoom.